V.E. Howard, minister of the Church of Christ. First of all, I should like to quote some authoritative quotations from Catholic sources, and then propose a question. So that a false statement, knowingly made to one who has not a right to the truth, will not be a lie. Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 10, page 696. Quoting, however, we are also under an obligation to keep secrets faithfully, and sometimes the easiest way of fulfilling that duty is to say what is false or tell a lie. Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 10, page 195. When mental reservation is permissible, it is lawful to corroborate one's utterances by an oath, if there be an adequate cause. Article on perjury, Catholic Encyclopedia, Volume 11, page 696. Quoting again, the truth we proclaim under oath is relative and not absolute. Explanation of Catholic Morals, page 130. Just recently, from the Vatican in Rome, this news release was given from the official Vatican newspaper, and I'm quoting that of date May 19, 1960, Tuesday, stated that the Roman Catholic hierarchy had the right and duty to intervene in the political field to guide its flock. The newspaper rejected what is termed, quoting, the absurd split of conscience between the believer and the citizen. However, Observatore Romano made it clear that its stern pronouncement was valid for Roman Catholic laymen everywhere. It deplored the great confusion of ideas that is spreading especially between Catholic doctrine and social and political activities, and between the ecclesiastical hierarchy and the lay faithful in the civil field. Pope John XXIII recently gave this statement according to the St. Louis Review, date of December 12, 1958. Quote, Catholics may unite their strength toward the common aid, and the Catholic hierarchy has the right and duty of guiding them. Question, sir. Do you subscribe to the doctrine of mental reservation, which I have quoted from the Catholic authorities? Do you submit to the authority of the present Pope, which I have quoted from in these quotations?
Well, let me say in the first place, I've not read the Catholic Encyclopedia, and I don't know all the quotation which you're giving me. I don't agree with the statement. I find no difficulty in saying so, but I do think probably I could make a better comment if I had the entire quotation before me. But in any case, I had not read it before, and if the quotation is meant to imply that when you take an oath, you don't mean it, or if that it's proper for you to take oaths and then break them, that it's proper for you to lie, if that is what this states, and I don't know whether that's what it states unless I read it all in context, then of course I would not agree with it. Secondly, on the question of the Observatore Romano article, once again, I don't have that in full. I read the statement of last December, which was directed to a situation in Sicily where some of the Catholics were active in the Communist Party, but I'm not familiar with the one of May 1960 that you mentioned. In any case, the Observatore Romano has no standing as far as binding me. Thirdly, the quotation of Pope John of 1958, I didn't catch all of that, and if you read that again, I'll tell you whether whether I support that or not.
Pope John the 23rd only recently stated, according to the St. Louis Review, date of December 12, 1958, quoting, Catholics must unite their strength toward the common aid, and the Catholic hierarchy has the right and duty of guiding them.
Yes.
Do you subscribe to that?
Well, now, I couldn't describe guiding them in what area. If you're talking about in the area of faith and morals, in the instructions of the church, I would think any Baptist minister or congregational minister has the right and duty to try to guide his flock. If you mean that by that statement that the Pope or anyone else could bind me in the fulfillment, by a statement, in the fulfillment of my public duties, I say no. If that statement is intended to mean, and it's very difficult to comment on a sentence taken out of an article, which I have not read, But if that is intended to imply that the hierarchy has some obligation, or has an obligation to attempt to guide the members of the Catholic Church, then that may be proper. But it all depends on the previous language of what you mean by guide. If you mean direct or instruct on matters dealing with the organization of the faith, the details of the faith, then of course they have that obligation. If you mean that by that, under that, he could guide me, or anyone could guide or direct me in fulfilling my public duty, then I do not agree.
Thank you, sir. Then you do not agree with the Pope on that statement.
Gentlemen, now, you see, that's why I wanted to be careful, because that statement, it seems to me, is taken out of context that you just made to me. I could not tell you what the Pope meant unless I had the entire article. I would be glad to state to you that no one can direct me in the fulfillment of my duties as a public official under the United States Constitution. That I am directed to do to the people of the United States, sworn to an oath to God. Now that is my flat statement. I would not want to go into details on a sentence that you read to me, which I may not understand completely. I think my statement is quite clear.
Gentlemen, we have time for one more question, if it can be handled briefly.